Joining us on the phone is Stephen Chbosky, the author. I almost called you the owner and author of Perks of Being a Wallflower. I'm sure most of the young people out there probably know all too well about this tale. Very good one, and loosely kind of parts of it based on your childhood a little bit, right?
A little bit, yeah, but I got to say thank you, Big J, for having me on your show. I'm very excited to talk to you. And yes, I am author and owner and screenwriter and director and executive producer, and I wrote a little bit of a love theme for Charlie and Sam. So
wow.
There you go. That's a full resume.
That's a lot.
And I wrote Rent, the screenplay for Rent, which I understand you love.
Yes, I do. Every time I have like a big actor on, and or anybody on that mentions like, oh, and I really enjoy musicals, we kind of go off on a musical tangent, and I always will tell them that, like, they'll say, what's your favorite? I'm like, I know it sounds cliche, but I'm like, I'm a Rent fan. I love Rent. And so I love that I told somebody last night, I was like, yeah, and he wrote the screenplay for Rent. They're like, no, dude, the dude that wrote Rent died. I'm like, not Jonathan Larson. I'm like, the screenplay.
Yeah, not Jonathan Larson, yes.
No, Steven's still alive. You did not die. So I mean, is that weird to take somebody who's gone's work and adapt it? I mean, do you feel like, because you're not able to talk to them and run things by them, I mean, was that awkward at all?
Well, I say this, you know, in terms of Rent, just working and reading his notes and doing all those things, and I have a version of the entire show that he sang. It was amazing. He was a great artist, and we lost him way too young.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I also love Tick Tick Boom, one of his other shows that not a lot of people know about. I think that's...
Yeah, no, I love Tick Tick Boom. I know the director, Scott Schwartz, who directed the show, and I actually have a videotape of Jonathan both rehearsing and performing that show as a solo show. So
that's
there you go. Perhaps I can get it to you.
That would be awesome. Well, let's talk about something that you actually can profit from in some way, and that people can enjoy now. Perks of Being a Wallflower, not just the book. How's the book doing, by the way? I'm pretty sure I just saw it on my iTunes, like in the store, up in the top 10 still. Is it rocking on the charts?
Yeah, you know, it's amazing. I published this book 13 years ago, and even though it always sold pretty well, you know, just word of mouth, that kind of thing, it was never a New York Times bestseller, and we've been, you know, in its category, God, it's been #1 New York Times bestseller 5 of the last 6 weeks or 6 of the last 7. I've actually lost count.
That's awesome. I mean, what a cool kind of little resurgence for a book that's been, I mean, it's just one of those that never go, it's like Adele's album last year. It's just like, no matter how much time goes by, it's still popping up and everybody's still buying it.
Yeah, well, you know, it's been a real blessing, I got to say. You know, people really connect to it. They connect to the book and they connect to the movie now. So it's been great.
That's awesome. We actually talked to Logan Lerman earlier this week about the film.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, we've talked to him a few times in the past for Percy Jackson and other things he's worked on. But yeah, we talked to him about this, and he said that he had an awesome time and that he knew of the story, and you know, all his friends had read it, and so that's cool. He's great. I mean, what a great cast too. I mean, Logan Lerman is hot right now, and Emma Watson obviously is undeniably awesome these days. I mean, she's hot in the biz. I mean, was it hard to get them on board, or were actors excited about this just because it was so well known?
They were really excited. You know, among young people, Perks has, you know, it just has a presence. And you know, Emma did not know the book, but she read my screenplay and she just flipped. And I have to thank her. You know, people don't know this kind of stuff, but like what actually gets movies made, you know. But Emma, when I met her, she was in 100%. She actually flew herself out to Los Angeles from London, I think she was at the time, to convince. I mean, she met with every studio head and was like banging her hand on the table, going, "Make the Perks of Being a Wallflower." You know, that's how much passion she felt for it. And Logan, look, he auditioned. And it's one of those moments, you know, we only auditioned 2 people for Charlie. He was the second one, and 5 seconds in, it's like, oh, I found my kid. We don't have to do any others.
That's awesome. What was the first one somebody famous, or was it just a random kid?
Random kid, really sweet kid. Actually, really good actor. But Logan is Logan, and we had to go with him.
I was either, when I picture it in my head, I see either Logan or Steven Seagal, one or the other, playing that role of Charlie. So I'm
with or without the ponytail. That's what I want to know.
I think with the ponytail. I think you take some liberties and change it from the book to the film version, yeah, and give him a ponytail. I think it'd be awesome. I think this is such a cool story. And it's in theaters now. It's going to get, you know, added to more theaters as time goes on, and then of course if
it's kind of it's limited run today, starting this weekend, and then next weekend, October 12th, it's everywhere. It's all over the country.
Very cool. So we'll look forward to that for sure. Is it very true to the book? I mean, I'm sure you're gonna be happy with it either way, since it's all your property. But is it weird?
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. Listen, that's the whole point. Being true to the book was the whole reason. You know, trust me, psychologically, I did not exactly need to write my first novel twice, you know?
Yeah.
And so, but I just know for the fans of the book and how personal it is to them, how personal it is to me, and I was either going to direct this movie or it wasn't going to exist. So, you know, it is a really enviable position, and I'm really grateful and humble that I can say as a first-time studio director that if Summit gave me $10 million and all the time in the world and said, change whatever you want, that I wouldn't touch a frame of this movie, that's the movie that I would want to make.
That's awesome. I mean, that's got to just feel good for you. I mean, no matter how well it does at the box office or anything, just knowing that you've got a product that you put out that you're completely happy with and satisfied with, that's probably pretty rare. I mean, with everybody having 9 different hands on every project, I mean...
Oh, it is rare. Listen, I've been involved in I've worked for 20 years, and this is the first one I point to and go, that's the one that I wanted to make. You know, look, I love the Rent movie. I think it's great, and Jericho is a show that I co-created. I wrote the pilot for, and I'm really proud of that as well. But personally, just speaking from the heart, this is my one. And so, yeah, it's great. Plus, hey, Roger Ebert liked it, so I'm really happy.
There you go. I mean, if Roger Ebert liked it, that's big.
I know, right? Roger Ebert, like, you know, he saw my movie. And so did Paul McCartney, and so did Anderson Cooper, and a whole bunch of people. I'm very excited.
What did Paul McCartney have to say about it?
Oh, you didn't talk to Logan about this?
No.
Oh, my God. It's the best story in the world. Okay, so there was this thing at the... Donna Karen at her home or whatever did this big Cinema Society screening, and all these great people like Howard Stern and Lou Reed and all these people were there. But one of the people there was Paul McCartney, and right after the movie ended, he went right over to Logan, and he was like, "You were brilliant, man! Oh my God, I love this movie." Wow. I mean, Paul McCartney.
And Logan's probably like, "Who is this guy? He talks weird." You're like, Logan, dude. That's Sir Paul McCartney.
Logan, I think we all know the cute Beatle. Come on.
Yeah, and I forgot Logan does music too. That's what. Yeah, Logan was busy not promoting your movie and promoting the fact that he really wants to play music with Russell Crowe on the set of Noah's Ark.
Yeah, there you go. That is Logan is it's amazing. This is like, as far as I'm concerned, even though kids are usually overlooked, this is like an Oscar-caliber performance he gives, and he wants to talk about piano.
I know.
That is Logan in a nutshell.
Logan Lerman. I love that kid. Every time we talk to him, he's grown up, like, over the years as we've talked to him, and it was fun. Like, a few years ago we talked to him, and I asked him to do a drop for us, saying, like, hey, it's Logan Lerman, and you're listening to the show. He's like, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, and and now he's just like, yeah, whatever you need, man, and he's growing up, so I like watching that. What's new for you? Perks of Being a Wallflower has been there forever. Now you've turned it into a movie, so this one's kind of like it's growing up. You're sending it on its way. There's not much more you can do with this. What's next for you?
I'm 2/3 of the way through my next novel, and you know, the same kind of emotion and theme as Perks of Being a Wallflower, but this one is a loving tribute to Stephen King, who's my favorite writer.
Oh, cool.
It's a little bit of a psychologically scary book. I'm very excited about it.
That's cool. And then is this something, I mean, I know obviously the writing is big to you, but then also now you're getting into the TV. I mean, you've written for TV, now you've directed. When you write a book, are you writing it almost planning on it being turned into a film down the road, or seeing it on the big screen, or do you just write the book and then whatever happens afterwards happens?
It's a little bit of both. You know, this new one I'm writing, I do want to make the movie of it someday, but I'm not writing the book. I'm not hedging. Let's just put it that way. I'm writing a book, and then later I'll figure out the way to adapt it, because it just, I don't know. It wouldn't be right to just try to write a screenplay in prose form, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Is there any chance in the new book that there's a slightly overweight radio DJ from Montana that plays one of the lead roles? Is that what it's about?
Yes, he has massive sex appeal.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, well, I might need to audition for that one. I might need to do
You
that.
got it.
What's life like for you now? So when you're writing a book, it's like, I mean, do you do anything else? I mean, obviously you don't have to go to work. That is your work. Is it like you just sit at the computer and then take a break and go jog? Or, I mean, what's the life of a writer like?
You know, in terms of your outward, it could not be a more boring life to look at. It's me in a room scratching my head going, why doesn't it work yet? You know, and you keep at it, you know, and then every now and then you strike gold, you know, and then I go home and I kiss my baby on the forehead and I hug my wife. That's my life, you know, and I love it. It's fantastic.
I see. So
you know, because inwardly, it's these stories. It's amazing to write something that you know it can reach millions of people.
Yeah.
It's a real privilege. You know, just like I'm sure you feel with your show, you reach people, and not to get corny, but you know, it matters. It's like you entertain folks, or you spread the word about things that matter to you, and it's a great way to live your life.
That's awesome. I agree too. So you leave the house though. You don't write in your house in an office there.
No, I go to an office.
Okay, that's
good.
No,
I used to write at home, and I drove everyone crazy. So now I have an office.
That's what I was thinking, because I wrote for a local magazine here for a while, and it was like I'm not a writer. I do comedy too, but I do improv instead of stand up because I hate writing, and so I'd barricade myself in the house for a weekend to like finish up my 2-page column once a month, and it would just I couldn't stand. I keep getting up and walking around, and like I didn't know what to do. It was just so weird, and I'm like, I don't know how somebody could do this like every day, just wake up and sit in their house. And like you have no escape. So like at least if you leave, it kind of gives the illusion that it's like, okay, I'm working, this is work, and then I get to go back home. And when you did it, when I tried to do it in my house, it's just a weird dynamic, and you like never get to leave, and you feel like you should always be working. And
no, that's exactly it. But the only reason I keep doing it is it's like a tea kettle. You know, you just got to let the steam out. If I don't write, I'm a little bit kooky. So I got to do it. I can't do improv though. You're a brave man. That's not for me.
That's what I say to everybody that writes. I'm like, that's the same thing. Like I can do the improv and you can't, and you can write and I can't. So, and you also can direct Emma Watson, which I can't do either. I've tried and she won't get back to me. So. I keep saying,
you never know. Just keep writing, Big J.
I've got
we'll get there.
I've got a webcam on my iMac to shoot this film, and I've got some ideas for it, and I'd love her to fly here, and she just keeps not getting back to me. But
all right, well, you know what? I will shoot her a text. I'll try to make it happen for you.
Very good. Maybe we'll do Perks of Being a Wallflower 2. And we'll work on that. Yeah, we'll do a sequel. You and I can write it together. I'll send you like a page of the book, and you can just throw it away and call me a co-author. And
that's great.
It'll be brilliant.
Great. Hey, you know what? Can I give you 80% of the royalties? Can we do that?
Sure.
I think that'd be fair.
I think that sounds fair to me, and I think I see a big, good, positive collaboration in our future. Stephen Chbosky, Perks of Being a Wallflower is the book. You can download it on iTunes, on your Kindle, obviously anywhere. Go buy it at a bookstore, and get ready for the movie, which will be showing in theaters everywhere very shortly, starring Logan Lerman, Emma Watson, and Ezra Miller. It's fantastic. Stephen, you've been fantastic. I love everything you've done so far, and I can't wait to read the new book, my man. So keep in touch, and thanks again for taking the time for us this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Big J. It was great. Thanks, buddy.
All right, see you soon.
The Big J Show. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on Billings' #1 hit music station, Hot 101.9.